Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Faulkner, and welcome to Village Core, where we live our mission, which is to connect, share, learn, and build intergenerational connections for mutual learning. This is a place where youth tech minds and senior wisdom join forces in order to bring you meetings like this. Today, we'll be discussing one of my favorite companies, which is Patagonia. Patagonia is a company that specializes in outdoor wear, as well as making clothes comfortable, but also clothes that will last for a lifetime. They're one of those companies that loves to prioritize nature over actually selling products and other things like that. So you know their active lines are good and you know that their quality is good as well. Patagonia specializes in all of these types of things, such as men's clothing, women's clothing, kids and babies, packs and gear, and then also as well as books and things like that. What we have here in front of us right now is essentially a mini film that they created called Running Up for Air, which is about mountain climbing in the face of declining air quality. A community of runners rises up. This is one of those things where where Patagonia sponsored this community effort because they heard about a story where a bunch of runners love to run up mountains, and so they decided to go out, make a video of this, and also show how Patagonia's gear lasts throughout these conditions. You can find this film on their website at patagonia.com, or you can find it in any activewear store, any REI, anything like that. You'll be able to find Patagonia there as well. While Patagonia is expensive, it also is one of those things that can last for quite a while. I myself have Patagonia stuff that I actively wear, and it is yet to show any wear and tear quite yet, and it won't for a very long time to come. So getting in here, what we have here, as I mentioned, we have men's, women's, kids and babies, packs and gear, and then books as well. We also have new lines that they are launching, like baggies, shorts, which is a form of shorts that is kind of baggy, but as well as being able to be used and other things like that. You can escape responsibility and other things like that. And here, if we just shop around, we can see that there's the shop, there's activism, there's sports, and then there's stories. With this, what we can do is we can go to their shops. We can see the new and featured, Patagonia's favorites, women's, men's, kids, babies, web specials, shop by category, shop by activity, other things like that as well. So if we go here, let's say I'm looking for men's clothing. And let's say I don't necessarily know what I want to buy, but I do know that I want to buy some sort of Patagonia gear. What we can look at is we can look at men's new arrivals. We can also get a discount once we sign up with Patagonia into their reward system. We can look at the men's baggy shorts, all that good stuff. So what we can do here is essentially we have all these clothes that we can pick from. Now, there's not really a set thing that I'm looking for right now, but what I can do in order to make sure that my search is broken down even further and that I can find clothes that fit me is I can search by category. So if I don't necessarily know what category I want to search for, I won't necessarily touch that. But if I do, essentially what I can do is I can click on one of these. Let's say I'm looking for a men's wetsuit, and I can search by wetsuits and all this other stuff. I can search by size, and I can also search by weight class and all that good stuff. Going back here, if we go, let's say I want to avoid the categories, but let's say I want to look at price. Let's say that price is a really big thing to me. And now I don't necessarily want something that might be over $100. So since I don't really want something that's over $100, what I can do is I can look for items that are in between the cost of $50 to $100. So now that we can take a look at this, we can say, okay, here are some items that fit within my price range that I'm looking for. Yes, they might be expensive, but at the same time, it's fitting in my price range quite nicely, and I can make sure to pick any of these things. But let's say they don't have what I'm looking for from $50 to $100, and I don't necessarily care about looking at the price till I see the or till I see the item I want. What we can do now is we can look by size. They have extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and so on and so forth. Since I'm extra large, let's select this. And then we can see all the extra large items that I can purchase here, and I can get ready to go with. So I can select all these jackets, I can select all these shirts, these hoodies, these shorts, other things like that. Let's say I want them to fit some sort of way. So a lot of clothes with how they fit is typically clothes that you buy at a regular store are normal fit clothes. If you want something that might be form fitting, we can look for extra large form fitting clothes. And what we can see here is we have all these clothes that might snatch onto my body and form fit to what I want it to look like. So these are things like wetsuits, these are things like ski gear, shirts, other things like that that I might want to look good in order to make sure that I'm having both a comfortable wear, but at the same time, it's making my muscles stand out. It's making me look more slim rather than bulky. But let's say I want regular fit clothing. Let's say I'm not necessarily looking for that form-fitting clothing. What I can do is I can select that filter once more and I can see all the clothes that will just fit like normal everyday clothes that I wear on a day-to-day basis. You can do with the same with a relaxed fit, which will be, as it sounds, a relaxed fit, which is kind of like the shirt that I'm wearing now. And then there's also a slim fit. So if you're somebody who is a little bit on the skinnier side, or something like that, or you can't necessarily fit in to these clothes, you can find a slim fit size as well. You can also specify by color. Specifying by color allows you to choose exactly what color item you want. So let's say I want my items in black since I like black clothing. What I can look at here is I can look at black shorts, black jackets, every single item that might come in black, I can search for right here. Same goes with any other color. I can select those colors and I can find out which color might suit me best and what colors there might be out there. So we can see there's little designs like this. There's some different shades of the same color. There's different types of jackets representing the same color. All that good stuff and more can be found right here on the Patagonia website. Moving away from the color section, what we can also do here is we can look at the features. So what the features are breathable, fair trade, Gore-Tex. We can also look for things like hooded, insulated, packable. So with the packable, this would be items that are good for like going on long walks, like going mountain climbing, anything like that. You can find that here, and they're easy to pack. If you're looking for things that are like fair trade, anything like that, you can search for those items here, and you can see them all good and ready to go right here. So going away from the features, what we can also look at is new arrivals. So we can look at new styles and color, which 403 items match that description. Once more, going through the rest of the filters, we can go through that. And then we can also go through the materials and processes. So what this means is I'm not necessarily somebody who likes I'm not necessarily somebody who likes let's say I'm not necessarily someone who likes canvas clothing. Let's say I like organic cotton. So I can specify items that are organic cotton and I can find them here and I can see what items might be organic cotton and I can purchase them how I choose, both fitting my size and being that organic cotton that I want. So now moving away from this, let's say I don't necessarily want to look for my clothing this way. Let's say I will look directly for what I'm looking for. Well, as you can see here, there's a little search bar. There's your little profile button where if you create a profile, this is where you'll be able to log in or you'll be able to sign up, and you can also track your order from right here. Let's say you really like an item and you want to wish list it. Essentially, what this means is when you heart an item or send it to your wish list, you're not necessarily ready to purchase it right now, but you may want to purchase it down the line and you want to come back to it and you want to have it reserved for when you do come back to it and you are able to buy that item. And this is where it will go, is directly into your wish list. So looking at the cart right now, there's nothing in my cart. There's nothing in my cart currently. My bag is empty. I can log in to see all my previous added items. So these are items that I might have bought in the past that I might want to buy again, or these are items that I'm returning, other things like that as well, or items that I'm currently buying. So what I want to do here, rather than what I want to do here in order to buy an item, is I want to look for a specific item. Let's say I'm looking for a hoodie. Right now it's bringing up all these different kind of like hooded things for skiing, but I want a hoodie that says Patagonia on it. Uh, so let's say I want to look around at all these different types of hoodies, and let's say this one looks very appealing to me. I can order it in whatever color, black, green, I think this is like an orangish, brownish. And then I can also select my size. So I want to select extra large, and then I can either send it to my wish list. I can also borrow it used. So if I want to borrow it used, essentially what this means now is I can look at all the gear that was once used already, that is still in perfect condition, but I can buy it for cheaper. So typically these items would go for, let's say, $139. Somebody didn't necessarily see the use for it. So they just sent it back, and then Patagonia decided to deal with it, and reuse it rather than throw it away or something like that. So now, since this item was $139, it is now $58 to $72, depending on the quality that you want it. If you want it near perfect condition, of course, it will run you that $72. If you don't mind a few rips or anything like that, a few holes maybe, nothing too major, it might run you $58. So you can buy it on Worn Wear Patagonia, where you can shop roughly 6,000 items, that you can choose from. So now that I've selected my item that I want to buy, I can add it to my bag. So this item is fair trade, and it's also 1% for the planet, which essentially 1% of for the planet basically means that when you buy this, 1% of the planet has pledged 1% of sales, to the preservation and restoration of the natural environment. So whenever you buy an item, some of that money that is being used for the item will go back to making sure that our planet stays safe and our planet stays clean. This is an environmental protection thing that Patagonia loves to do, since they are an outdoor brand, and since Patagonia is very big on that sort of thing. So now that we check out here, we can see once again that fair trade. It is 80% of our line is fair trade certified. If you want to learn more about that, you can search for that in a new tab, which is our first step on the path forward, ensuring living wages in our supply chain. So right now around the world, what a lot of companies like to do is they like to hire a bunch of factory workers, and not necessarily pay them fair wages, or they like to hire children, other things like that. And essentially what Patagonia likes to do is they like to ensure that their workers are both well compensated and have the means in order to make sure that they don't necessarily have a hard time, when working in these factories producing these clothing items. So this means things like allowing them to take bathroom breaks, allowing them to take breaks to eat, allowing them to go home at a reasonable hour, allowing them to have a match of minimum wage within their country. So that means like the minimum wage in the United States essentially, is a lot higher than most nations, but over there in another nation, somebody might be getting way less for a similar job in the United States. So essentially what Patagonia tries to do is they try to make sure that they're getting an equal match, and that they don't go home without fair compensation, and that their families don't go hungry. So that is fair trade right here that Patagonia specializes in as well. And so some of our money from this order right here, which is $89 and then $10.95 shipping, which comes to around $99.95. That will go towards their fair trade, ensuring that people overseas get fairly compensated as well. So now that we're here, if you forgot an item or you wanted to pair it with it, you can look at their Goes Great section. You can look at all the clothing items that you can pair it alongside. If not, you can go ahead and check out. You can pay with PayPal or you can pay with Venmo, but I don't necessarily want to do that. So here we have the express checkout. We need to enter my email to continue shipping, and then after that, we'll go to the shipping section where I can type in my address, what apartment I live in, where I need it shipped, all that good stuff. And then we can go to payment and then we can place our order and it'll be sent straight to my door, or I can go and pick it up at a local Patagonia not restaurant, Patagonia store, or I can go pick it up at a local retail store that is selling Patagonia items. This can be something like an REI or other stores like that. So Patagonia is really one of those companies that loves to sell nice clothes as well as making sure that our environment stays protected. So going back here, what we can do as well is we can look at the women's section. Women's section is just like the men's section where they have all these clothes. You can specify by category or you can just browse around. The same goes for the kids and baby, which kids and baby is a little bit different. Since it is, of course, smaller, there are different styles, little designs like this pink little jacket with ears on it. But essentially, it makes sure that your child is warm as well as being happy within their clothing that they wear. It's also very fashionable. So if you want your child to be fashionable, comfortable, and also very stylish, like this baby fur little onesie, you can make sure that your child is staying warm, safe, and that their clothing won't necessarily affect their skin or anything like that with any chemicals that are put onto any clothing items or anything like that. So Patagonia really tries to make clothes for the whole family and for all those wishing to seek an adventure outdoors. What we can also do here is we can also look at packs and gear. So when we go to the packs and gear section, essentially what this is making sure that people have the right gear that they need for backpacking or for going out adventuring, exploring, anything like that. So once again, just like with the clothing items, you can search by category, you can search by price, color, features, material fabric, and then volume as well. With the volume section, essentially what you can do is you can look for things that are 20 liters and under. You can look for 21 to 30 liters. You can look for 31 to 45 liters, and then bigger as well, depending on what you need. So these packs and other things like that are good for outdoor travel. They're good for things like going to the beach. They're good for things like, taking snacks along with you. If you're simply just trying to go out and have fun, that sort of thing as well. You can buy all that and more under the packs and gear section. And it's not just packs and gear. There's also bags and luggage. There's waders, which is going into the water. If you do something like fishing, other things like that. There's also wetsuits, sleeping bags, drinkware accessories. So if you need like a mug, if you need something like that, there's also gear care and then web specials. The web specials are web exclusives that you won't necessarily be able to find in store, and you can get them here for a discount as well. And these are things that you can find only on the Patagonia website, not in a retail store that you could physically go to. So going back here, we can look at more web specials. These are all the clothes that you can buy only online, not inside of a store. As you can see here, there's tons of clothes, tons of gear, tons of other things like that that you can shop from. You can also shop by category or you can shop by activity. So shopping by activity, let's say since we're getting outside of the snowy winter months, let's say I want to go towards the more spring and summer months. So let's say I want to go for surfing since I live right by the beach. What we can do here, if it loads, is we can look for men's surf, women's surf, wetsuits, surf packs, and gear, and all that good stuff. So these are things like board shorts. These are things like bathing suits, one, two-piece sets, other things like that that you can find here. under the surfing section of Patagonia. There's also the activism section. So Patagonia once again loves to do a lot of activism. So things like Alaska Needs You, where you can take action, you can send over some money to support them, and make sure that everybody is informed about what's happening, and then also making sure that our environment stays relatively protected, and now we can make sure that our environment is getting better. So here we have some famous adventurers who we can see here who talk about their story, how they are activists for their environment and how they want to help make the world cleaner, as well as making sure that not just humans but all wildlife have a fair chance at life within this world that we have currently. So we can see Patagonia Action Works, and other things like that. And Patagonia has been doing this ever since they were founded. And because the founder loved to make sure that, he was an outdoor explorer, and he loved to make sure that the world joined him on that. And so he started Patagonia to make sure that the gear was right and that everybody was having an enjoyable time outdoors. There's also sports, so we can look at snow, climbing, fly fishing, trail running, surfing, kite surfing, and mountain biking if you want to shop by sport. And then we can also see, of course, the stories as well. So the stories here essentially are things like for the Love of Dirt, which is a 3-minute read, which is essentially just about mountain biking and how this mountain biker loves loves going out and loves riding trails and all this stuff, and how he just enjoys the love of nature, the love of beauty, all that good stuff. So we have that here to look at, and you can read more about this under the story section as well. We also have the food and drinks section. So Patagonia does actually make their own food and drinks. What we can find here is all the food and drinks that Patagonia sells. These are things that you can either bring on the road with you, you can bring when you are traveling, other things like that. So we can see new arrivals, seafood, organic grains, bestseller, subscribe and save, gifts and goods. So as we can see here, we have pasta dishes, we have bestsellers, new arrivals, seafood, all that good stuff. And here's a little blurb about why is a clothing company making food. Essentially, it's responsible harvest seafood, regeneratively farmed grains, and then 1% for the planet once again. So here we have all the items that you're able to buy, all the seafood, all that good stuff shipped right to your door so you can enjoy an enjoyable, healthy meal. You can also look at the recipes and you can shop around under all these recipes. So we can look at all this. They have recipes, they have exactly what you'll need, and then they'll have the steps for you to make it right there in home by yourself. So other than that, I have nothing really else to add about Patagonia. Patagonia is one of those companies that is a bit costly, but at the same time, they are doing a good thing for the environment, and your clothes will last for a lifetime. So once again, my name is Brandon Faulkner. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Village Core, or check out our website where you'll be able to see a recording of these videos, and be up to date with any future events that we host here on Village Core. So once again, thank you so much for watching.